Most guys get it wrong. They ask the same dull, predictable questions. And that's why they're forgotten. But what if I told you that with just 6 questions, you could make her think about you non-stop? Imagine this. Long after your conversation ends, she's replaying your words in her head, feeling drawn to you in ways she can't explain. Because attraction isn't about looks, money, or even confidence. It's about how you make her feel. And when you ask the right questions, you trigger emotions so deep that she subconsciously associates those feelings with you. Most guys talk to women, but very few make a lasting impact. That's where Stoicism comes in. The ancient Stoics knew the power of deep, meaningful conversations. And now, you're about to use that same wisdom to become the one man she can't stop thinking about. By the end of this video, you'll have 6 conversation-shifting questions that will change the way women see you forever. But be warned, once you use these, you might just become irresistible. Let's dive in. Think about a conversation you had that truly stuck with you. It wasn't because of random small talk. It was because it made you feel something real. That's the key to making a lasting impression. Most guys approach conversations like an interview. Where are you from? What do you do for work? What's your favorite color? Boring. Forgettable. Zero emotional impact. But the right questions don't just start a conversation. They create an experience. They make her reflect on herself, her emotions, and her desires, all while associating those thoughts with you. But before we get serious, please smash the subscribe button. If you're looking to level up your conversations, confidence, and connections, this is the place for you. Now, let's break down the 6 questions that will make her think about you non-stop. The first question is, what's something you've overcome that made you stronger? This is one of the most powerful questions you can ask because resilience is attractive. Women don't just want a guy who listens, they want a guy who understands them. And when she talks about overcoming adversity, she's opening up on an emotional level. Imagine she tells you, I used to struggle with anxiety, but I learned how to manage it by journaling and meditating. Most guys would say, oh, that's cool. But you say, that's amazing. How did you realize that journaling actually helped? Now she's not just sharing, she's reflecting on her growth. And guess who she's sharing that with? You. And here's why this is so important. When she opens up about something personal, she's not just recalling a memory, she's reliving it emotionally. And because she's reliving it with you, she's subconsciously associating that moment of deep self-reflection with your presence. That's powerful. After she shares her experience, share a personal story of your own struggle and how you overcame it. This builds mutual vulnerability, making the connection even stronger. When people share their struggles and wins, they create an emotional bridge. It's no longer just a conversation, it's an experience. Now, this next question takes it to another level. If you could master one skill instantly, what would it be? This taps into ambition and self-improvement, which are 2 deeply attractive qualities. Why? Because people love talking about their dreams. And when she does, she's sharing a vision of her future, and subtly imagining you in it. She might say, I'd love to learn photography and travel the world. Most guys would reply, oh, that's nice. But you say, that's awesome. What's stopping you from starting now? Now, you've done 2 things. You've challenged her mindset, which makes you stand out. And you've positioned yourself as someone who encourages her growth, which makes her feel good around you. And people always remember the ones who make them feel alive. Think about that. If someone inspires you, you think about them all the time. You wonder what they'd say in certain situations, how they'd react, what advice they'd give. That's exactly what's happening when you ask her this question in the right way. And if she flips the question back on you, don't waste it. Instead of saying something generic like, I'd learn another language, frame your answer in a way that reveals something about your values. Say something like, I'd master storytelling, because I think the ability to captivate people through words is one of the most powerful skills in the world. Now, she's not just hearing your answer, she's imagining you as someone with depth and charisma. Alright, question number 3. What's a belief you once had but later changed? This question is powerful because it forces her into introspective thinking. It also shows that you value open-mindedness and self-awareness, which makes you stand out from guys who only talk about surface-level topics. She might say, "I used to think success was all about money, but now I realize happiness is more important." Most guys would nod and move on. But you say, "That's really interesting. What made you change your perspective?" Now, she's diving even deeper into her emotions. And because you're the one guiding the conversation, she's attaching those meaningful emotions to you. This isn't just about learning what she believes, it's about understanding how she evolves. When people share how their beliefs have changed, they're giving you a window into their past, present, and future. And when someone helps you uncover your own evolution, they become unforgettable. Next up, question number 4. What does happiness mean to you? This taps directly into Stoic philosophy, the idea that true happiness comes from within, not external things. And when you ask this, you're making her reflect on what truly fulfills her. She might say, "Happiness for me is about having freedom. Freedom to travel, to create, to live on my own terms." Most guys would say, "That's cool." But you say, "I love that." Do you think happiness is something we find, or something we create? Now, you're leading her into a profound conversation, one that she's going to keep thinking about later. And here's something interesting. People rarely get asked deep questions like this. When you ask about happiness, you're making her reflect on what she truly wants out of life. And when she associates that deep self-reflection with you, it makes you more than just another conversation. It makes you someone she craves talking to. Now, question 5 takes things into a more vulnerable space. What's something you're afraid of losing? This question triggers emotional depth and vulnerability. Why? Because our fears reveal what we value most. She might say, "I'm afraid of losing my best friend. She's been with me through everything." Most guys would say, "Yeah, that makes sense." But you ask, "What is it about that friendship that means so much to you?" Now, she's diving into the deep emotions behind her relationships. And when someone shares their deepest emotions with you, they automatically feel more connected to you. And think about this, when people get vulnerable with you, they feel safe. When someone feels safe with you, they start craving your presence. That's a game changer. Alright, the final question. If you could relive one moment in life, what would it be? This taps into nostalgia and cherished memories, two of the strongest emotional triggers. Why? Because when we remember deeply happy moments, we relive those emotions. And when you're the one triggering those emotions, she associates those good feelings with you. She might say, "That one summer trip with my family when I was a kid, it was perfect." Most guys would say, "That sounds fun." But you say, "What made it so special?" Now, she's painting a vivid emotional picture, and you're right there in that memory with her. This is how lasting emotional bonds are created. Every one of these questions does something powerful. They make her reflect on herself in a meaningful way. They create emotional connections. They make her associate deep thoughts and feelings with you. Most guys don't have conversations like this. That's why they don't stand out. But you're different. And when she finds herself thinking about these conversations hours, or even days, later, she won't realize what's happening. She'll just know she can't stop thinking about you. Which of these questions do you think is the most powerful? Drop a comment below. Want more tips on mastering attraction through Stoicism? Subscribe for more.